but that was back then. And then you'll be like, obufugo bwa kuguma. That is a statement I hate with a passion. With a passion, as in bwa kuguma. And you know why you hate it? Because you're in this generation. And I'm going to come to that, okay? So, there were rules. We had rules. The religion had rules, and the marriage sector had rules. And then we were told, who feeds the home, who nurtures the home, who changes the diaper. Like, straight up, it's a woman. Who feeds the baby? Straight up, it's a woman. Who initiates sex? Straight up, it's a man. Like, they were not communicated, but the rules were there, and we know them. And let me tell you, the worst thing is we still live by these rules, even today. Some of us who are still afraid to come out of our shells and demand what's rightfully ours. You're like, I will die with my what? I don't want to say big words. Okay, with my love for affection, or maybe wanting to be touched. Like my 4-year-old daughter usually says, Mommy, I want you to touch me. Like, she's a touch person. Like, she wants you to sit and cuddle and do what and do. And now you're here, you're that kind of person who has that language, that love language, that of touch, of quality time. But my friend, your man is running like I don't know what kind of speed. Even when he is home, whenever you sit around, whenever you put on a movie, he goes to his laptop. I'm like, yeah, what kind of home is this? You know, if your words of affection, Bambi, he has never had a drip of sensitive words of that lipstick looks really nice. And then there is a guy at work who compliments. As soon as you step into the lift, it's like, oh my God, check your body goals. And then this guy even has the silent touch, you know, and then all of a sudden, there is something, and then you started getting excited. Those things happen, okay? So now, coming from, back there where we were with the rules and all that, this generation, our relationships are dependent on one thing: if you're happy in a relationship. They are depending on personal, individual happiness. That is where we get to ask questions, because we have created options and we have created so many choices in this generation that we get to ask, am I happy? And not just happy, am I happy enough in this relationship? Because we are spoiled for choice. And then we are seeing so many people who are on Reels and TikTok, okay? And these days I can see those that force themselves, grabs the man and puts a camera and you come here, we hug ourselves. And then they hug and then they put on those songs. Which songs are common on Reels? You know them. There are those songs that you'd feel like, I wish I could just fall in love again, And this is love, and they dance, and some people even, people force vacations, my friend, in this generation. Force vacation, goes, rents a hotel just to take pictures. And then they like the TikTok, and Reels. But let me tell you, you can tell who is real. There are people who are really in love. And you can tell the bond, the connection, it's consistent, it's persistent, it's flowing, it's effortless. And then there are those that force. No, grabs the hand and pushes it. Now that shows that we have gotten to an era where we have created so many choices and so many options for ourselves, okay? That you will ask yourself. Recently, a friend of mine told me, I don't want to give birth. That is not a talk you would have with your mother. Back then, I told my mother I don't want to get married because I grew up in with a toxic father. And she told me, I am going to pray and fast for you and cast those demons. And I will tell you for a fact, my mother prayed. She cast the demons, and she told me, but one thing she told me, you will get married to a man you love and a man that loves you. And I said amen to that. If that is what you're praying for, yes. But if you're praying just for marriage, please don't pray. Okay? And God came through for me. I got married to this handsome man that really loves me and I love him. And it's not a forced thing. I feel, you know what? This is it, okay? God makes miracles. And I wish that on every woman. I wish that on every child to have a father that is stable, that is consistent, that is God-fearing and respectful, okay? So, apart from the choices and the options that we have been that have been created, our relationships are depending on very hard conversations today. Very hard conversations. Back then, a man would come and he would back, and then he would go and bathe. These days, a man comes back, if you're the stay-home kind of lady, then you're like, you know what, how was your day? You don't want to stop at how was your day. You want him to narrate how the day was. You want him to cuddle you. You want him to have time for you. There's a lady in, where is that? Switzerland. She just called me. She's a Ugandan, but she's been married to a Dutch man, and this man comes back and has no conversation. Like, his routine is go work, come back. When he asks, how was your day? Fine, and that's it. The woman got depressed, and next week she's coming back to Uganda. She's leaving her marriage. Why? The man does not talk to me. I feel tortured. I feel I mean, this man, and I asked her, does he beat you? No, he does not beat me. Does he insult you? No, he does not insult me. Does he take care of you? To the extent that even when she's out of her home, like Yanova, she's at her friend's place, the man brings her food, the man comes and checks on her, the man does what, and she does all the things that he has been doing, but one thing is taking her out of her home. Like, I told her, he's an introvert, like he's into himself. And he's like, even I went to stay with his mother, and the mother was like, if you come and stay with me for some time, so that, but I know him, he's quiet, from childhood he's quiet. And she said, I am depressed, I'm getting out of this marriage. Do you see what choices have done to us? They have complicated. Back then relationships were very simple, because there were rules to follow. But right now, because we have so many options and so many choices, we have complicated everything. But again, in the complication, there is the goodness that we have a choice to know that. You mentioned about the trust issues, that you know what, if there is no trust between us, and trust is killed, but being earned is very, very hard. Okay, so if you're not going to prove to me that you love me, and if you're not going to prove to me that I'm the only one for you, then there's going to be a problem. That means we have developed self-protecting mechanisms of, I don't want any stress. If he's not going to be trustworthy, then I'm going to walk away. Now, the choices have given us a bit of control, but again, they have complicated things. And that's why I want to say that as women, we have the power, we have the no and we have the yes. Okay? But again, even when we have the no and we have the yes, we must be very fair in order to survive in this generation and the millennial relationships. Number one thing that is on top of my list that we are going to flip to thriving is complacency. We have been so complacent that we have taken a back seat. Social media has come, work has come, everything has come, and when you come to a marriage or a relationship, you take a back seat like things have to drive themselves. Okay? And yet, we're supposed to be on the steering wheel. We're supposed to be deciding, making decisions about, how do we communicate? How do we do this? But have you seen people cooking on phone? They are cooking, but they are holding a phone. They are breastfeeding, but they are holding a phone. They feel like they're missing out. Life is really running so fast, but they're having a conversation, what would have been so intimate with their partner, but they're thinking, I'm missing out.